IT services. How are you, sir?
Okay.
What's it doing when you click it? It's not going through.
Well, on Messenger, I get it, and when I click on it, it just gives me a white page that says StreamYard.com, but it's just a white page.
Right here, I think I got it. Is this it?
I don't know.
Can he see you?
Wait, hold on.
Okay, is that it?
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the MLO Bros. As you can see, Glenn Stevens and his wife having some technical issues. We're getting them on as fast as we can. But to start, I will go through our, oh my goodness. Hold on. Let me see if we can. Luke, did you get them?
It'll take me to like a page that says, open this page in Safari. Do you see that?
We'll go to our sponsors first. First sponsor being Valley Insurance Group. Mayor Tim Sycophuse, he was on the show the other day. For your home insurance and car insurance needs, give Valley Insurance a call. Also, we have IGT Publishing, a local child's book author, Susan E. Guy. So her two books, I actually bought them myself. First one being Bella Blue Goes to the Beach. Second one, Bella Blue Meets Piper Lou. They're actually children's book about her two dogs. So she actually has a third book coming out in the spring here. And it's a great sponsor. And she's local. So, oh, did we get him, Luke?
We see him.
There he is. Bring him on.
Hold on, I'm trying. Okay, let's see here. Here we go. Hey, there he is. Thanks for joining us, sir.
Oh, no problem.
We had a little technical difficulty getting him on the show there, but we worked through it. So do we call you Glenn, Mr. Stevens? I don't. I feel like I've watched you my entire life. I don't know what to call you.
Glenn's fine.
All right. Well, I'm Luke. I don't know if we've ever met before. I'm Luke Schuster, and that's my little brother Isaac. And
nice to meet you.
We appreciate you coming on the show. I had to ask your wife permission through Facebook.
Oh, Luke, you froze up. Now Luke's having technical difficulties, but like Luke said, so happy you could join us on the show. But let's start from the beginning. What's your story? Where'd you grow up? Where are you from?
Well, actually, I grew up over near Akron, a suburb of Akron.
Okay. He'll come back. He'll come back in a minute.
And graduated high school there and was subject to the draft. So I figured I better get into the service and do what I want to do, not what they want me to do. So I joined the Air Force.
Okay. And what year did you graduate?
63.
63. Awesome. Okay.
What
where were you in 63, right?
I was not even a thought.
I don't know. What I think Dad was like two or three at that point. So you graduate and you went now 63 from I was cut out there from high school, and then you went off. Did you go to college or what would you do?
No, I went straight to the Air Force because I graduated high school a year early, and even if I would have gone to college when I got out, I'd have been primed for the draft. So I figured, why go to college and then have to go in the service? I'll go in the service first, get the GI Bill, and let them pay for my college.
Smart.
And
then how long were you in the military for?
4 years.
4 years, and then you come out, and what happens after you get out?
Well, I came back. I started college while I was still in the Air Force. So when I got out, I finished up school, and then I had an opportunity to go to the owner of the Milwaukee Bucks at the time was trying to promote more broadcast communication. So he opened a school called the Broadcast Career Institute. And I went there in Milwaukee, graduated from there at the top of the class, and he was getting ready to open another academy in Houston and asked me if I would go down there and help open the school and be an instructor. So I ended up in Houston.
nice.
Wow. Awesome. And then, so you've been all like, so military
Military, Milwaukee, then down to Houston.
All right.
and where from Houston?
Well, I was in Houston. I was working at two different stations down there. In addition to teaching, I would teach during the day, and then I would do radio at night. And I did another gig on a Clear Channel station on the weekends. So I was actually working on two different stations. And I probably would have stayed in Texas, but unfortunately, my dad died prematurely and unexpectedly. And I was the only one in our family that wasn't married at the time and didn't have other obligations. So, and my dad was a vice president of a big corporation, and my mother was pretty much a corporate wife. She didn't balance the checkbook. She didn't pay the bills. So when he suddenly left, it was kind of a culture shock for her. So I came back, relocated as close as I could to her to basically help her through that.
Wow. And then you go back, help your mom, and
You're working at WFMJ at that point?
yeah, where'd you go from there? Like what did you end up at WFMJ then? Because you were there for a long time, right?
Yeah, there was a program director at WFMJ, and he called me and offered me the job, and I came over and visited. And 2 days later, they hired me, and I was at WFMJ Radio, and then I became news director for WFMJ Radio, and then WFMJ Radio was sold, so I moved into television.
So there was a station for WFMJ for the radio?
There was two.
Really? Did you know that? I had no idea.
No.
When was that?
What year was that? What year?
That would have been early 70s.
That's awesome.
No idea.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
WFMJ AM, which is 1390. And then there was WFMJ FM. And they're both still around. They're just not WFMJ anymore.
Glenn, right. Steven, could you give us your radio intro right now?
You could totally. You know what, Glenn? That's funny is Isaac and I have this conversation all the time. We can always tell the people that have a radio background because of their voice. Because your voice is just it's so much. Glenn Stevens, WFMJ. What was
the AM station? 1390.
Yeah, we were called the Rock of Youngstown.
Wow.
Nice. That's really cool.
So then you flip over from radio to television. And what do you do right away out of television? So are you go right into reporting or?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was news director for radio, so I basically had all the contacts already, and
nice.
It was just a matter of doing the stories visually instead of radio.
And so when did you what year did you flip? Do you remember?
Oh boy,
give me a general range. 80s or 70s?
Would have been late 70s. Yeah, I can't remember. I'm terrible with dates when it comes to that. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. So late 70s. So you switch over. Do you remember like your first big story that you had?
Yeah, it was funny because the first story I covered, downtown Youngstown was still very vibrant, and it was getting ready. It was right around Thanksgiving, and everybody was downtown. All the stores had their Christmas displays in their windows, and downtown was packed with Christmas shoppers. And some guy ran over the sidewalk and mowed down like 12 people, and a couple of them were killed. It happened only a block from our downtown station, so I ran up there, and that was really kind of the first story I was on.
Wow!
We have to recall now that back then we were shooting on film.
Oh yeah!
Wow!
Actual film. You had to bring the film back and put it in the processor and develop it. Yeah.
And equipment was probably a lot bigger back then too, right? Hauling all that stuff down there.
Well, no, all you had was a Bolex camera. All you had to do was shoot the film.
The little things out, yeah.
Oh, okay.
then you brought it back to the station, put it in the soup to be developed. Yeah.
Wow. We have a question from our sister. Do you have a favorite story or person that you interviewed?
Oh my gosh. Over 49 years. Are you kidding?
You got to have a top 3, right? Top 3, top 4.
Well, presidents, first of all, interviewed Jimmy Carter and
Wow.
Bill Clinton and many of the candidates. Talked to Obama and but a lot of the celebrities from entertainment, they were always fun too. Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
That's so cool.
Yeah, there was a lot of people from entertainment, things like that. People from sports, a lot of sports heroes.
I was reading in one of the newspaper articles after you retired, the guy that our grandmother always admired was Jimmy Trafficant.
I was real close with Jim Trafficant. I knew him when he was a sheriff.
Yeah,
and he was the sheriff, and of course he made a lot of headlines even when he was a sheriff, when he refused to foreclose on people that lost their jobs after Black Monday. That was a big story.
Yeah,
and then, of course his campaign for Congress followed him all the way through that. And then, his trial, both trials. So from sheriff to he actually ran a campaign for president,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I have his shirt actually. My grandma bought me a shirt when he ran his campaign for president. Isaac, did you know that why one of the reasons why grandma and the people of that era loved Jimmy Trafficant was because was it the governor who told him, Glenn, to foreclose on the houses and he refused to.
Yeah, that was the state. Yeah.
And he just told the state to stick it pretty much.
And it came down to the county, and he refused to do it. Yeah.
That's
he always
awesome.
Said, his famous saying was that he's going to stand tough like a junkyard dog.
Did you my whole thing is you were in the news and the media forever. I mean, that's a long 40 years is a lot of changes, a lot of things happen. I mean, one of the things you have to be asked is how different is the news media now versus 20, 30 years ago versus I was watching clips of Reagan talking and like kind of getting into it with the news media. I mean, do you think you hear all these terrible things about the news media? Do you think that's true now? Like, what are the current state of affairs for the media? I guess that's a large question. So, current state of affairs for the media.
Well, it's, I can't speak for the networks. The networks have their own agendas, but I think everybody tries to be fair. That's rule number 1 in journalism is you need to be fair and accurate, because you're almost always every story you cover is going to affect somebody's life, their name, or their livelihood, or their livelihood. So you better be right, because once you say it, then that puts a whole new shade on everything. So being accurate and being fair, and I know at WFMJ, we had editorial meetings and we discussed every story that we were going to put on the air, and we researched it. We had attribution, so we knew we were right.
Yeah. See, yeah, it's such a difference. Yeah. It's such a difference, like in my opinion, of like he says, the networks versus the local media. I mean, I think the local media, I think they nail it. You know what I mean, as far as fair and unbiased. But you get into the network stuff, they're all bigger. So
this is a good comment by Carla that leads into my next question. We miss seeing you on your cooking segment. You need to be the next Mr. Food on WFMJ once a month. Good. Of course, your wife has to be the head cook and you help her. So when did they ask you to start doing the cooking show with your wife?
Who was that from?
Carla Beck.
I taught Regina everything she knows. No, she is. She's a fabulous cook. Actually, the cooking segment came out of back when the station launched their first morning show, WFMJ Today, their companion to the Today Show on NBC.
Yeah.
And, the first weatherman that they hired was Frank Marzullo.
I remember him. Yep.
Yeah, and Frank was an energetic, talented young guy. He was actually still in college. He finished up and graduated from YSU.
Wow.
But they were looking for a segment to cooking was such a big thing on morning shows. Everybody had cooking, so they wanted to do something that was in the kitchen. So at first they asked Frank to try and do it. And I think the first thing he made was eggs in a frame, if you know what that is.
That's the toast, right? The
Yeah.
toast. Yeah, the French toast and the egg. I see. I know.
Yeah. A real challenge, you know. So, and he didn't think that he could come up with creative recipes every week. So they asked me if I would want to do it. And I said, well, you know, if I get Regina to come along, I think it'll be great. And it just turned out to be a real blast. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time with the morning crew. We did over 600 episodes and never repeated a recipe. It was like 15 years or something like that.
Wow.
So did you guys research together and decide, like, plan out what you were going to do?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Cooking?
And people don't realize how long that, all the preparation that goes into that little 4-minute cooking segment.
I bet.
We have to find a recipe. We have to go out and do the shopping and find all the ingredients. We have to bring it back and we have to make it the night before, because you always have to have two. You have to show how you're making it on the air, and then you have to have one done so you can show what it looks like when it's done, because you don't have time to cook it and everything. So we always had to make two of everything. So it was there was quite a bit of work involved in doing that little 4-minute segment, but we would everywhere we went, we had a part of it was a thing called the gadget. Every week we'd come up with a new cooking gadget, and we'd have people try and guess what that gadget did. So we had a lot of fun with people trying to guess what the gadget was. We even had a song, Regina.
Oh,
I can't. I thought she was
Sing
here.
it. Sing it.
And,
we'll make Regina come in and sing it if she walks by.
yeah, I think she shut the door. She's trying to be quiet. Regina.
Regina.
Regina. But yeah, we had that, and so we would research. Every time we would.
Oh, here she is.
You remember the gadget song?
Sure.
Do you?
Do you want to sing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, come in frame.
Okay.
Come on.
Hi.
Hi.
Gadget. It's a gadget. The question is, can you guess it?
Oh, that's fantastic. Hey, Regina, we're having requests for you to come back and start cooking on air.
All right. Well, I'm
They-
ready as soon as we
Yeah.
can. As soon as COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to.
We tried it from home once, and it just didn't work very well because the screen's too small.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so you,
said we're kind of off till then.
You made a big mistake by getting her in here. She
Right.
won't.
no,
It's all right. That's okay.
Ta-da!
What was your favorite thing you made, Regina?
They asked us if we would come back and do guest shots every now and then, so we're going to do that.
What's
oh,
the best we ever made?
The best.
What's your favorite thing? Best thing or favorite thing? Whatever.
Best thing or favorite thing?
That's
You ever
a-
cooked?
I think shrimp pasta is your favorite that I
Yeah.
ever.
Well,
Sounds
yeah,
good.
we've made some variations on that.
Scott
Yeah.
Schneider used to love the salmon spread.
Oh, and that
Smoked salmon.
and that
Excuse
moose
me.
that moose that we
Oh,
made.
the moose.
Oh, that
That's
sounds
my
good.
favorite.
Ooh.
Oh, the
Moose.
I was gonna say
We won a contest
We
with
won
our
a
moose.
contest with
Really?
We-
I-
and then we took raspberries and put them through a sieve and cooked them and sweetened them, and on top of the mousse was, hot raspberry spread. It was
Yeah.
really
That sounds awesome.
Regina, I heard that you guys live in Poland, and I don't know if you guys know this or not. Isaac and I live in Poland too, so it would be very easy to drop off the moose.
Yeah,
at our
it's not hard. If you guys ever want to bake or cook something, we will try it.
I will always try whatever you're making.
Uh,
Did Did you tell them we do theater? Can they tell?
Oh,
You do theater too?
We all.
that's where we
both-
met.
Are you working on anything? Do you want to run some lines by us?
We've been doing community theater for 20 years. We've done 40, 50 shows. Yeah.
A piece,
Rick-
probably.
Yeah.
Not that many together. Although.
Yeah, I was going to say together. What's your favorite show you guys do? Like singing and dancing, or like reciting lines and stuff?
Musicals
Well-
are fun. We just did last
You-
Christmas. We did a wonderful
Show
life, a wonderful life, the musical.
And then I've
Really?
done since then Evita.
She did Evita. Yeah.
Ask them, Isaac, if they ever did your favorite. Go ahead.
Do you guys like show tunes at all? Like Jesus Christ Superstar or Wicked or anything like that?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
My
Yeah.
sister told me that I'm a shoe-in for Wicked. To be one of them.
No,
Oh, wait.
no comment. No comment.
I'm not,
I'm not saying
that
anything.
one.
They're great.
So what
What keeps us together is humor. Wouldn't you say?
Humor, shared interests.
And shared
We love to
interests.
cook. We love to dance. We love to do theater.
We've been on, right. I directed shows at my high school and at community
Wow.
theater.
Isaac, I think
Nice.
you and I, so I'm the older brother. This is the younger. We should try we should try out
Yeah.
for it.
Let's do it.
neither of us
I'll
can
tell you
sing,
what,
but
I'll tell you
I
what.
can sing just fine.
I'll tell you what, people don't appreciate how much great live theater there is in this valley.
100%.
There's like 12 different playhouses that you could go to. And I mean, live theater is just that. I mean, it's there, it's live, it's on stage. And people that try out and become part-time actors, I mean, you may go to a show and you'll see your dentist, or you see your mailman, or you see your mechanic. Yeah.
Dr. Cox,
Yeah.
John Cox does a lot of theater.
I think we need to try. How often is practice? So like, let's say you have a show, like how long does it take? Is it every night or is it once a
No,
week?
it's usually 5 weeks of rehearsal and then 2 weekends.
And how many days a week for rehearsal?
4 or 5.
4 or 5. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way I'd be allowed to do that.
And then you add Sunday.
I have 3 boys under 10. So if I tell my wife I'm going to rehearsal practice every 5 days a week, I'm going to be in trouble.
Yeah. You gotta. It's a commitment of time for sure.
Although there is children's theater.
Yeah,
And they
children's theater.
always need adults in children's theater. So you could take your kids and all be on stage.
We
We were-
thought about signing them up for the one in Columbiana. There's the one in Columbiana that does the kids stuff. They do like a kids show every summer.
That's Candy Cleveland. Yeah.
That's getting.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's
So-
the what do they call them? The stage
Stage
left.
left? Are they stage left?
It's
I
the
don't
one.
know. Candy Cleveland and I worked across from each other because she used to teach drama at Canfield Village Middle School, and I'm the nurse. We were right across from each other. But
Yeah.
we've been in shows with Candy.
Yeah, we've done shows with Candy. Yeah. That's a nice theater
Oh,
down there.
they have
and they're
made
very
that so beautiful.
they're very active with youth theater, children's
Yeah.
theater.
We wanted to get Lucas into that, Isaac, because Lucas is like a stinking
Well, I'll
ham.
tell you
now.
what,
Yeah.
the girl that's been cutting my hair for over 20 years, she had a son who was kind of a rambunctious kid, and she was looking for something for him to have another interest. And I suggested, I said, why doesn't he go down and try out for a children's play? She said, oh, he'll never do that. He'll never do that. I said, well, just ask him. Just go and let him see what it's about. Well, he went there. He got cast. He was in a show. And boy, I tell you, he couldn't wait to be in another one.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It bites you, and you just can't wait to do another show.
We tend to be kind of hams too ourselves. So I don't know if you've ever
Yeah.
watched the show before, the stuff we do online, but we are totally hams all the way. So
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot
We-
of comedies out there you can have a lot of fun with. We did one.
yeah,
called Sandbag Stage Left.
But-
We did another one called
Which-
Daddy's Dead. Who's Got the Will? There's a lot of good,
yeah,
funny
but
characters.
which one did we just do? The Odd Couple.
Oh, The
We've
Odd
done
Couple.
The Odd Couple twice with.
We did The Odd Couple. We did the first premiere show at the new Robbins Theater up there in Warren.
wow. Look at these kids. How do you guys have so much time? So Glenn, you're doing all this news stuff all the time, right? You're doing theater. I mean, how do you do all that stuff? That's crazy how busy you guys got to be. And Regina, you said you're a nurse.
I'm a nurse. I'm the
So
been a nurse at Canfield Schools for this is my 31st year.
Yeah, she's the
Wow.
school in Canfield. Yeah.
So how are you guys have all the time to do all this?
How do you what?
How do you have all the time to do all this?
You just manage your time, and when you're doing something that you love to do, it's not hard, you know.
Easy to do. Wow.
But it is difficult when you start a new project. You got to say that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
It's a lot.
It's
it's
crazy.
a lot.
We have some questions for you, Glenn.
Great.
In the comments here. Yeah.
Regina, stay close in case we got to scream and have you sing again. What news channel do you feel is the least biased? Oh boy.
Yeah.
The least bias?
Yeah.
So she's probably talking network. I would networking.
Yeah,
I-
I mean, everybody knows where Fox aligned itself. So
yeah.
And
a lot
be
of-
fair.
yeah, and
Well,
CNN sometimes, yeah, but
I'll leave
a lot of
it.
times that comes back to ownership.
100%.
Ownership can. I mean, you have to be able to resist that. That's
Mm.
one thing we never had at 21. We never had any pressure from ownership. I mean,
Nice.
we did the job as journalists.
21 is still owned locally or owned by itself, correct?
It's the only locally owned station, right?
That's right, because the other two are owned by the same company, I think.
Well, they've been sold 6 times now, I think.
Wow.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's-
Jeremy's got one here. Did you ever bust out laughing on air and couldn't control yourself laughing?
No way.
Yeah, well, not to the point where I couldn't control myself. I mean, we had some laughing fits, but the biggest one was actually when I was doing radio, and we had a thing called dual. What was it? 2020 dual manpower new. I don't know something like that. But there were 2 of us. We sat across from each other, and we would do the noon news on radio, and we would trade stories back and forth. And something happened. I forget what it was, but we both totally lost it to where we couldn't even breathe. And it was hilarious. I mean, the engineer just looked at us like, "What are you doing?"
I mean, in my head, see, Isaac, and do you obviously remember him on the news, right, Isaac? I mean, he
absolutely. Yeah.
In my head, Glenn, you were like the
Super professional.
Yeah, the constant professional. The shirt, the tie.
Yeah.
Just constant professional in my head. But again, it's like,
And he's an actor. So he can put on the face if he has to, and just cover anything up.
I've watched WFMJ pop. Our dad watched WFMJ since we were little. So you've been there the entire time. I mean, I was born in 79. You've been there the entire time. That's amazing.
All I remember, man. All I remember.
Yeah, it's well, I think the one thing is just how the industry itself has changed. We mentioned earlier that we were shooting stories on film.
Yeah.
But I mean, when we came in to start a news day and decide what's going to be the lineup for the 6 o'clock news, I mean, we had to go out and really gather those stories because we didn't have cell phones.
Yeah.
We didn't have computers. We didn't have text. We didn't have email. We didn't have GPS. So, I mean, we physically had to go out. And
how would you do? Like, to me, it's almost foreign where, like, right now I could Google a news, I could Google anything. How would you, like, would people call in and say, "Hey, this is going on," or you'd call looking for news? How would you gather up the news back then?
Well, it was just a matter of that's just what it is. It was gathering. You start, you make hundreds of phone calls. You go to locations, you tap into your sources, and you go out and you find, whether it be witnesses or you find out who's the subject of this story. You try and find the subject of the story and get an interview with them. And then you try, depending on what the story is, you always try to get both sides. You want to get both sides of a story too. So, yeah, I mean, we really had to go out and physically, beat the bushes and find the interviews and find the facts.
Yeah. That is like the era of news media right there, where you're like on the beat reporting kind of stuff. That's like it. It's
sounds like a lot of work too compared to what you can do now to just find a story. Luke?
Yeah.
Yeah. Carla Beck says, Glenn, I opened your first charge card when it was Kaufman's, and I hooked you up with some ties. So
Remember?
Carla remembered. she remembers getting you ties.
I went through a lot of ties. I mean, a lot of ties. I remember when one of the Perkins restaurants decided to change their waitresses' uniforms, and they were going to have the girls wear black pants, white shirts, and ties. Well, I used to go there for breakfast a lot. None of the girls had ties. So I went home and I gathered up 50 ties and took them back to the restaurant. So
there you go.
That's awesome. That's perfect.
Always score points with whoever serves you breakfast. This is actually from LinkedIn, Isaac. This is my favorite guest yet. Legend. This is from Brian Cushman.
Hi, Brian.
He's requesting some Jimmy Trafficking
Gotta
stories.
tell some trafficking stories.
Well, we all remember when he got in a little trouble when he was the sheriff too. There was a problem when they used to have honorary deputy cards, and he was allegedly handing them out to too many people, including some
Classic.
including some motorcycle guys and stuff.
Nice.
But Jim, he was a great guy. It was funny because you could never do an interview with him without him grabbing the person next to him. He grabbed the person next to him, put his arm around that person, and do the interview. He was so hard to get him to just separate and do, a one-on-one interview. But of course, his wardrobe always generated a lot of news too. If you recall his wardrobe.
Fantastic. His sideburns, I'm not going to lie. I don't have it, but I'm trying. I'm trying to get those sideburns out there. He had those huge sideburns.
He had Elvis sideburns. Big.
Oh, yeah. Look at pictures, Isaac. They're glorious.
He wore bell-bottom pants, and he wore string ties, real skinny ties. But that was part of his persona. That's just kind of the way he was.
This is from our dad. Glenn, who would you say was the best anchor on local channels over the Valley's history? Whew.
Interesting. Good question, Dad. I'm proud of you for that.
Yeah. Were you an anchor, Glenn, ever?
Oh, yeah. I anchored for about 7 or 8 years. Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, I kind of remember that too. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I anchored with a lot of different co-anchors, Katie Kiefer, Mary Hunt, Susan DeLeo.
I remember her.
Yeah.
What years was that? Because I sort of remember.
That would have been mid-'80s.
Never mind.
Yeah.
You remember reruns, Isaac.
Yeah. But I knew all those guys. I mean, who was I'm trying to think. Why would I forget his name? It was at 27 forever. Gosh.
27 forever. Who's
terrible? I can't remember his name.
If Pop's watching, Pop, who was the guy at 27 forever? He'd remember that.
He'll remember. Tell us.
Yeah. Bob Black was at WFMJ forever.
He was at 27 first.
Oh, he was at 27 first, wasn't he? See,
he used to do their noon news.
Here it is. Nicole says Tom Holden. Good call, Nicole.
Holden. Way to go, Dad.
Yep. So Pop came in, and Bob Black was at 27 and then came over to 21. I always talk about Bob Black whenever we talk about it. I went to college, worked on a cruise line, then came back and went to journalism school for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I had an internship at Channel 21, and you were there too. I mean, there's no way this is 20 years ago. But I always said Bob Black was I always told the story before, was like a salty old pirate is the way I always describe it, because he was really nice. But the first day I met him, and I was in there at night and I was helping with the newsroom and the news story, and I walk in there and I said, Mr. Black, it's great to meet you. I'm really excited to be here. And he says to me, well, what's your name? And I said, oh, it's Luke Schuster. Nice to meet you, Luke. He's like, hey, you want to go get me some coffee? It's upstairs. I was like, yes, sir. I'll go grab me some coffee right away, sir. And I walk away, and him and him and the one I forget was it Autumn Ziemba? I forget. I think it was Autumn Ziemba. They were just laughing at me. I was like, oh my god, so yeah. So I was there for a couple months, and it was an experience for sure.
Brian says laugh out loud at the wardrobe of Trafficant, and Michelle says Trafficant's hair.
Well, yeah, the wig was always a big thing for him too. Yeah.
You and Jerry Raschuti are the best dressed news reporters. That's from Daryl Jones.
Oh, well, thank you, Daryl. Yeah, I've known Jerry forever. Yeah, since he was a kid.
Exactly. And then Brian Blevins says you were great at Todd's Children's Marathons.
Yeah, we did I hosted the Children's Miracle Network Telethon for Todd Children's Hospital for, 12, 15 years. And that was a great effort because the stories that we learned about families and children that went through the hospital, and how the challenges they faced and how they came out the other end of it. There was we used to call them vignettes. We would do vignettes on families and children that were devastated either by accident or by disease. And the telethon was a fun thing, but it was a very worthwhile thing too.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime you get kids and sickness and that kind of stuff, it's always rough. With one of the things, when I was saying about doing the internship, did you ever have and it still sticks out to me, and this is 20 years later, I went on a call with a reporter, and it was Stone, Matt Stone.
Matt, yeah, sure.
And I remember this, and we went on with a cameraman, and there was a motorcycle accident.
No.
And the guy didn't make it. Let's just say that. And it still sticks out in my head because we were there filming, and Matt's like, "You want to get out and see this?" I was like, "Yeah, whatever, I'm fine." And he's like, "Okay, come on, let's go." And we went out, and the guy had died. Do you have anything like in your head? And you don't have to discuss it, but there's stuff that sticks out as a reporter, right? That you're going to see stuff that you don't want to see, correct?
Verbal stories. Yeah.
Yeah, like stories like that, or.
Oh yeah, I've seen some pretty horrific things. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I just, like I said, I was like 22 years old, and I see this like, well, I'm never owning a motorcycle. I'll tell you that right now. So
yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, whether it be from accidents or from crime or from fires, I've seen some really horrific fires.
Darn it. There was the one that always sticks out. I don't know if you remember this or not. Do you remember the illegal, because this was by our house when I was growing up, the illegal fireworks factory off of New Buffalo Road exploding? Do you remember that, Glenn?
I was one of the first people there.
What?
Yeah, Isaac.
There was an illegal fireworks factory that exploded.
Yeah, there were actually, yeah. We were walking through body parts. Yeah.
What? Really?
Yeah.
How many people died?
7.
Yeah.
What?
You know where it was, Isaac? It was down New Buffalo. If I remember correctly, Glenn. Correct. Again, I was like 6 or 7. It was down. New Buffalo. Go ahead, Glenn.
Yeah, it was right down Western Reserve near New Buffalo. Yeah.
Like down the hill by the Drake's Landing there, Isaac, on the right, if I remember correctly.
But how did they mask it? It was just like a big warehouse that they just said it was a warehouse and it actually had fireworks in it. Like, how did it work?
Yeah, it was just a little 1-story building, and they were making illegal fireworks there, and you never would have known what it was. It just looked like a big chicken coop almost. But
and then what? Somebody smoked their last cigarette.
I remember when the first call came in. If you remember, well, you probably don't remember this, but just past Western Reserve Road on Route 7, Market Street, there used to be a Coca-Lane station, gas station. And when this huge explosion happened, everybody thought that the gas station blew up. They never suspected that it was an illegal fireworks factory.
The reason I remember this, Isaac, is we lived on New Middletown Road off of New Buffalo. So, you go up and then take a left on New Buffalo, go down probably 2 miles, and you turn right. That's where we lived. I was outside when that thing exploded. Okay.
Yeah.
And I still remember, boom.
Yeah.
And like shattering. And this is like a mile or two away from that thing.
Yeah.
it was crazy. So yeah, that's why. Look, Pop says this. We felt the blast 3 miles away. It was on Beaver's property. Who Mr. Beaver was the one who I think he owned the property. That's where it happened.
Yeah, he owns the property that Drake Landing.
That's the son who owns that. Correct.
Okay.
We were out. Pop and I were outside, and that thing exploded, and it was just boom.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I don't know. We kind of asked you. We kind of asked you a question similar to this, but Scott asked, "What is the most impactful story you covered in your career?"
Well, we were.
You're gonna have to put me on mute. Ben found me.
We were talking the other day about this. The fact that the coronavirus story now is over 350 days old.
Yeah.
I mean, stories don't last that long. So I mean,
yeah, that's true.
How impactful has it been? We're expecting 500,000 deaths. I mean, if I was still working, that would still be
yeah, because it's gone on so long.
But beyond that, going back, I would say Black Monday. If you recall the history of Black Monday, when the steel mills started closing down.
Being here during that time.
Right. And
what was
that devastated this valley to the point where it was hard to come back because the mills started closing one after another, and 20, 30,000 people losing their jobs. I mean, that was a real wake up call for the valley when we lost the steel industry.
When that first happened, was there a sense by anyone that Youngstown was kind of fade like it did? Did they think that was going to happen at first?
Well, not that I remember anybody being that, having that foresight. I mean, it was due in part to the imported steel, and then in 1970 we had Earth Day, and the environment became a priority. And the steel mills weren't exactly environmental friendly. I mean, from the rivers to the air, they were doing some pretty serious damage back then. And they started having to mandate so much funding to cleaning up their act, whether it was smokestacks or whether it was water pollution. They had to commit a lot of investment in that. And some say that was partly what happened, among other things. But yeah, when the mills started closing down, that was pretty. And of course, again, back then, you guys might not even remember this, but organized crime, the mob, played quite a bit on the landscape.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you had mob hits. They were taking people out, and the Joey Naples and things like.
Another thing that happened right down the road from us.
The guy got sniped.
The guy off of was it Sandy Naples? I think it was. Again, my dad will know this one too. Off of
what's that road there? Right across from
Lynn Road.
Yes.
Oh yeah, right.
Again, we lived right over there, and they used the gas well by our old house to walk across and snipe the guy when he went to get Naples.
They were in the cornfield. They sniped him from across the street in the cornfield. Yeah.
Right.
Crazy. Well, the organized crime, and you being a news reporter, you had to know who these people were, correct? I mean, who the organized crime members were. You had to run into them too, correct? As a reporter. Oh
yeah. Yeah, we would cover a lot of stories when the authorities would start investigations, and we had to track it down and try and see what they were, why they were investigating, who was responsible, and so yeah, we got to know most of them. Yeah.
Wow. See, this is like the golden age of reporting, Isaac, for me right here. You know what I mean? It's
absolutely.
Well, how about another story? Another story that sticks out was the saga of Mickey Monas.
Farmore.
If you remember, I mean, he started Farmore Even Warren Buffett called him one of America's best entrepreneurs. And he brought the basketball team here. He started the Youngstown Pride. Then he brought the LPGA golf tournament to the Valley. He was one of the original principal owners of the Denver Broncos. And, you know, he was, and then they found out he was cooking the books and he went to prison.
Why do you think so many of the people involved in Youngstown always tend to just kind of push the limits of legality a lot? Do you ever notice that? Like everybody, like you talk about trafficking, you talk about,
well, that was a story that went on for a long time, was when the U.S. attorney out of Cleveland, and they came down and the Fed started investigating corruption in Youngstown. I mean, that went on for years, and eventually I think 62 people were indicted, and the sheriff went to prison.
yeah,
Several judges went to prison. The county prosecutor went to prison.
it's like you say you're from Youngstown, like all or like anywhere else, they're like, whoa.
That's a greasy guy. That guy's super greasy.
Yeah, they're like, whoa, man, you're from Youngstown? I'm like, they're like, are you a mobster or a gangster? And I'm like, it's really nice here. I don't know.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. You know, that's unfortunate that we got that moniker, because you know, things have really improved.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, we don't. You know, that was so commonplace back then that I mean, we had 2 prosecutors shot. You know,
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Man.
yeah,
Well, you know, and I'm, like I said, I'm 41. Isaac's 26. We talk about Youngstown now versus Youngstown after the Steels Mills closed.
Uh-huh.
Isaac went to Youngstown and lived in.
I lived downtown. I lived in Erie Terminal downtown the year after they opened, and I got to see the town come to life in the 4 years I lived down there. It was so cool.
I mean, great. Glenn will tell you, there weren't restaurants down there. There was nothing down there, right, Glenn?
No, there was basically nothing. You lost pretty much everything downtown. I mean, there used to be Strauss, there used to be Higbee's, there used to be Goldstein's Furniture, there used to be Lord Chesterfield. I mean, downtown was hopping.
Yeah.
It all went away.
It is coming back though.
It really is. It's awesome down there.
Yeah, it's coming back great guns. I mean, downtown now is lively on the weekends, and you've got the amphitheater, you got the Cavelli Center.
Mm-hmm.
You got a hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing the Chamber of Commerce always wanted.
Yeah. Oh, you know, we were supposed to ask you too. Our dad is a docent at the Butler.
Oh, congratulations. That's one of my favorite places in the whole valley. One of the crown jewels of the valley is the Butler.
So he works there. He's not just a docent anymore. He's like schedules the tours now. But you
are you on the board? Did he say something? He thought you were on the board or active with the Butler?
Oh, I'm active with the Butler. I'm not on the board, but no, I'm active with it. I help in the planning when they do the holiday. You know, they close down the Butler and they do the holiday event. People come up there for the
tour coordinator.
Yeah, but yeah, we my wife and I, we love the Butler. Anytime we have visitors come in from out of state, first place we take them is the Butler. As
amazing as this sounds, I have 3 boys, 10, 6, and 2, and they love it there because they don't run down just because of the pictures. Like I said, it's something to do, and I don't think enough people understand how nice the Butler is and what you know. Like you said, it's a jewel of Youngstown. That I don't think a lot of people understand that.
Yeah, and it's free.
And it's free.
Yeah. I mean, Lou Zona has done a fantastic.
He's
job.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the Butler when you walked in the front door. The center of the Butler was a grass courtyard.
Really?
Where the marble is?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Kidding.
That was a grass courtyard.
Wow. What year was that? What year did they change it?
Mid 70s, into the 70s. Your dad might know, but
was it? Wow. Was there a ceiling? It was just an indoor courtyard?
Yeah, it was a courtyard. Yeah.
Holy cow!
And then
Our sister got married there last year. 2 years ago.
And then Lou added he added the wing that goes out toward the library there.
Mm-hmm.
And and he brought so much depth and so much reach to the Butler. I mean, the permanent collection is amazing, but he's always bringing in new things. He's always bringing in new things to experience. I remember one year, I think they had 56 installations, 56 different shows. And there's only 52 weeks in a year. So
yeah, that's crazy. My dad said there was a water fountain, outdoor water fountain.
Maybe not in the middle there.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I actually got to Luke owned a photography company a few years back. I think he still does, but he doesn't really do much with it. But we filmed the 3D tour of the entire Butler. And we actually have in the tour audio sound bites from Lou Zona. He walked around with me for hours. Me and Lou walked around the Butler for hours, and he talks about individual paintings and pieces and gives his details on the paintings. It's amazing. It was so much fun.
He knows a lot of stuff.
I could walk around the Butler with him for hours and listen to him talk about different pieces. It was incredible. It was
21's been doing that for a long time. He still does that every week. Yeah, we have a feature going around talking about different artists and different paintings. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. I had so much fun.
Total topic switch on Dad. Back to the mobsters. Dad flips it. Was Glenn here during the mob bombings?
Not during the ones that made national news. But I was around for the organized crime and the mob and the contract killings and the numbers racket and all that. Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
So give us the rundown on the bombings. What were they were just trying to take people out? And where by bombings, like car bombs? Car
bombs. Yeah, car bombs. Yeah. There was a couple that really made national headlines, but I think some of that was influenced out of Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Guys that wanted more control. But the car bombings they made a lot of news.
Is it like Goodfellas or Casino where they just turn the key and it just boom?
Dude, you Google it. Google it after the show. The car bombings in Youngstown. It's an amazing read.
Yeah,
it was like Glenn said. It's like the people in Cleveland and Pittsburgh, the mob trying to take over.
Yeah, Brian Danizewski, the Youngstown tune-up.
The Youngstown tune-up. That's a great name.
Yeah. It's time to go, honey. It's time to go, honey. Go start the car, right?
Yeah, geez.
Youngstown. We moved here in 1963 from Italy. Father's army friend tells him, "I'm from Youngstown. Probably Murder One USA."
Oh, geez,
is my guess. Yeah,
that's an old story that we heard a long time. Your dad probably remembers that when somebody wrote a letter and they addressed it to either Crime Town or Murder Town, and then it ended up at the Youngstown post office.
Murder Town. Yeah, Murder Town.
Walt Wallet says, funny
from LinkedIn too. It's crazy. We're getting comments on LinkedIn.
Sitting with an Antoff as I write this, and also Regina was my nurse. I'm a diabetic when I was a student at Canfield. Small world. Also, awesome guest. Love the show, guys. That's from Walt.
Thanks, Walt. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, Regina's been at Canfield, the registered certified school nurse there for a long time, and now the kids that she would provide nurse care to, whether they were diabetic or whether they got hurt on the playground or whether they were just sick. I mean, she takes care of them all, and now she's taking care of their kids.
Wow,
Aww, that's so cool. So cool.
Nicole Leonard says, my grandfather got paid to start cars back in this.
I hope he got paid enough.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
How do you think you do that job? Like
I
the
don't
people
know.
who are hiring you to do that job, obviously a little bit scared that they're going to get bombed.
Oh my
So
God.
you working that job, go to start the car, and you're just like, like every time.
Isaac, you heard the story of our great grandma's brother.
Yeah,
You-
Uncle Casino.
You can Google this because you can fact check me because it is on Google. If you look through old Vindicator articles, we had a great uncle it had to be, I want to say great, just a great uncle. It was grandma, it's our great grandma's brother, was in an illegal casino in Youngstown and his name was Casino de Vincent. You can Google it and check it. He lost his money because he got back from the war and then went outside and picketed. And the news came and they did like an article on him, like picketing outside the casino. And 2 days later, nobody ever heard from him ever again. My grandma said he was just gone, disappeared, and that was the end of it. And I was like, wow. He's like 21.
Wow.
And it's like, holy cow. And I'd never really looked it up, but I Googled and went on the old newspaper articles, and there it was. It was like,
cool
wow.
Casino.
Oh yeah, Youngstown had some. They had, there was some pretty well-known after-hour clubs.
Yeah, okay. My dad's saying it was the 30s because they came over in the yeah, that would make sense. The 30s and 40s. So I was here forever.
Great grandma's brother would be our great uncle.
Not our great. It'd be just our great. No, it's her brother.
They were still.
I know, but that's great grandma.
Yeah, great grandma, and then it'd be our great uncle.
Okay, never mind.
Sorry, Glenn.
Yeah, there were after-hours clubs even in the 70s when I came here. Yeah.
Wow, after-hours clubs. That's crazy. Rumor.
They used to serve the drinks in coffee cups.
Rumor over Market Street Bridge, Uncle Casino. Wow. See, Luke, when we start our company scuba diving into once they clean up the Mahoning River, once we start scuba diving in the Mahoning River, we can make a show and call it Finding Uncle Casino.
Finding Uncle Casino in the Mahoning River.
Finding Uncle Casino.
I mean, so Glenn, what we're at an hour. We don't want to keep you all night. What are your plans now? I mean, you're done. You're retired. Did they know you're retiring, or did you walk in and like, I quit? I've had enough of this place. Like.
Oh no. I had been planning my retirement for 3-4 months. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like I'm done. Like throw your stuff out the table and walk out.
Take your apron off at the cooking show one last time. I am done.
I had an earlier date picked, but then the management asked me if I would stay on till the end of the year, and I said no problem. So I stayed on till the end of the year. Yeah.
Awesome. What are you going to do now?
Well, if we ever get rid of coronavirus, I want to do more theater because now I can go to rehearsal, not have to worry about getting up in the morning.
Yeah.
And,
well,
we're gonna doing freelance work, voiceover work, stuff like that.
Heck, fantastic.
Cool.
I think we need to go check out a theater next time. We gotta go check out
one of your shows.
Go check out a show.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
but we got to get rid of this corona first, though, right? Because you guys probably aren't doing anything right now.
No, it's pretty. It's. My wife was kidding me about retiring. She said, "Why are you retiring now? There's no place to go and nothing to do."
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Very true.
But we're hoping to, when things get a little bit back to normal, that we really miss our grandchildren. We have 6 grandchildren.
Aww. Yeah.
Wow. And the ones from California would always come in the summer and spend a month with us. And this year we missed out on that. So we have 5 sons in 5 states and 6 grandkids.
Wow.
Wait, you have 5 boys?
Mm-hmm.
Luke's got 3.
I have 3, and I don't know. You deserve a medal.
What's the spacing on their ages, Glenn?
Yeah. Oh, they range from all the way from 45 back down to their 30s. But we have one in Chicago, which I wasn't too happy with because he used to live in Tampa.
Oh yeah. That would do it.
Yeah.
Tampa's a nice town. It was fun to visit Tampa. Now he's in Chicago. We have another one in Utah. We have another one in Austin, Texas. We have another one in California.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So
Any of them following in your footsteps? Or no?
far, no.
None?
One,
Nice.
one's a lawyer. Yeah.
It's good.
Out-
Good gig.
Out in California. So.
What so with 5 boys, I got to ask you, since I got 3 boys, how bad is my my food bill going to get?
Pretty bad.
Just pretty bad.
You'll know when you have to take 2 shopping carts.
It's already. I bought my first freezer for the basement last week because my wife's like, we're going through food already so fast. Like we don't have enough like room in our freezer for food. It's like, oh my God, this is gonna get so bad so fast. So, well, we don't want to. I mean, we don't want to keep you all night. We appreciate you coming on. It's awesome to talk to you, Glenn, and just like I said, I think everybody that grew up with you on the news. I mean, for sure. So it's definitely an honor to have you come and talk and tell us the stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Well, it's been a ball. Yeah.
We will. We look forward to watching you come back for cooking on WFMJ, and we'll probably see you around. You said you are from Poland, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we will see you around town. If anybody says
celebrate Poland next year or this year, hopefully. So.
Yeah.
And if anybody ever says anything bad about us, Glenn, it's not true because we tend to cause a little trouble sometimes too. So just remember, none of that stuff you hear about us is true if you ever hear it.
It's all fake, and we're great people. Not troublemakers at all.
I had to vet you before I agreed to this, and so.
I expected better research.
Well, Glenn, we appreciate it. Will you tell Regina we said goodnight and thank you so much for coming on the show?
Oh yeah, well, thanks for inviting me. It's been a lot of fun.
It has. Thank you, sir. You have a good night.
Bye, Glenn. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
I just kicked Glenn. He's all, dude. It's like legit.
Glenn Stevens, that guy was awesome. He's a lot of fun. I'm gonna go try out for a role, maybe like in one of the playhouses he's at. Maybe like be playing the character of his son or something, so I can call Glenn Stevens dad.
We should go try out and just videotape us trying out for like a role.
You guys are the worst people we've ever seen.
Like I have to do like this because it's look down.
Yeah. Popular. You're gonna be popular.
We just do one where we're just sing show tunes.
Yeah.
Like I can do Christ Superstar. I can do it all right now. You want me to do it all right now?
We could be Jean Valjean and what's his name?
24601.
Yeah, totally. And then we could sing the confrontation together.
I forget the confrontation. Which is
the confrontation. I don't remember it, but it's awesome.
Oh, the confrontation. Thank you. Sorry, Dave. Hey, thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
We appreciate it. We're you guys can all leave now because we're now singing show tunes. All I know is
Hugh Jackman and in the movie when Hugh Jackman
do you remember the song?
Yeah, it's so awesome. I forget. They just go back and forth. It's awesome.
We missed that one. Sorry, Amy.
Let me find it. Hold on.
It's how does that song go? Does anybody know the song? Can anyone help us with the song? It's I know it too. I don't remember.
I don't want to get kicked, so we're gonna have to be careful here.
Look down. What?
It's the same beat. Keep talking. Yes. Man, you can totally do this. Russell Crowe and Hugh Jackman? We could totally nail this.
Yeah. I stole a loaf of bread.
24601.
Everybody's leaving. like our people, we went from like 30 people to 10 in like a second.
All right, before
Sorry,
you
everybody. We got some
start
work.
talking. RuPaul 601.
All right. So, anyways, Glenn Stevens, legit, 100% legit. That was an awesome interview. Probably one of the better ones we've had. And he was like totally serious too.
Yeah, it was great.
I struggle not being a jackass when we have somebody serious on.
I know it's really hard,
It's
like
so
not
hard
asking stupid questions. Like it's really hard because I'm so used to asking stupid questions.
Yeah, because we have to be like legitimate interviewers where we have somebody legitimate on.
Yes, Youngstown. You talked about car bombs and cookie tables. We are known for car bombs and cookie tables. And don't swim in the Mahoning River.
Did Robert Helms have he wants name that tune? We could do that.
Name that tune.
Think of a song.
Jesus Christ, superstar. Have you won? Have you sacrificed? Come on now, Jesus.
Are we just doing show tunes? What's the one? 200
minutes. Have you seen The Office where they sing that when Michael leaves?
No.
They sing it about how many minutes he's been working, and then they said, that's like watching Die Hard 90,000 times.
We can just keep doing show tunes. Robert Held is requesting name that too. We do not have a guest next Thursday, by the way, yet. And I'm just throwing that out there. We can do name that too.
Dude, no, we need to do next Thursday. We need to do any guest can come on and talk to us for a minute. They have a minute to talk because it's almost our 2-year anniversary, dude.
Well, then there you go. Mr. Held, I remember him. I met him at the wedding. He's one of Dad's friends. He was at the wedding.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, Mr. Held, I was very, very intoxicated when I talked to you.
Held, Mr. Held is who they couldn't figure out who that was at Leanna and Brent's wedding because they didn't realize he was married to Mrs. Greenwich. So they were like, "Who the heck is Robert Held?" And they put him up front because they didn't know who they were. So they put him up front so that they would see him and be like, "Oh my gosh, that's who it is."
I'm gonna get him. I promise. EJ, patience. He wants us to get time capsule toys to talk about old toys, which would be kind of fun.
It would be cool.
Yes, Mr. Held said yes. I'm gonna bet that was the notice of me being very, very drunk.
I at Patty's wedding.
Yes.
I probably met a lot of people that I don't remember. That was a fun wedding. That was a very fun wedding.
You ever heard the story where Maggie? So I was hammered, and Maggie's like, "Hey, watch Ben." I was like, "Yeah, no problem." She comes back. She's like, "Where's Ben?" I was like, "I don't know." He's like running around the butler, like by all the expensive pictures for himself. And she goes, "Really?" I was like, "I am so drunk. Why are you putting this on me?" He was like running around, and he was like I think like Evan Campbell, one of our like cousins' husbands, was like chasing him.
Yeah, Robert says I must be in the front row. Leanna's. I think Mr. Held. I think you're coming to my wedding in August as well. So we'll save you a seat up front.
Clean sweep.
But what was I gonna say? Yeah. And then it's gonna be a rough wedding when they run out. We ran out of booze, and then we paid someone to go get us more. One gathered up cash.
Yeah. No, he paid for it himself. The dude did.
Yeah. So I gathered up cash, and he's like, "Don't worry about it." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" He's like, "No, I got it." He just comes back with 6 handles.
It was one of I forget his name. He's the pharmacist for the trip.
Alex.
Yes. Yeah. And I was like, dude, as long as I live, you will be my superhero. And every time I saw the bowling alley, I walk up, I shake his hand, I was like, just want to pay my respects.
He's a hero. And then Brent's like, we ran out of our brother-in-law. He ended up puking at the end of the night in the hotel room and getting in all kinds of trouble by our sister. But he's like, once we ran out of liquor, I was really thirsty and I didn't know what to do, so I was drinking wine. I was like, okay, that's your first issue. Why would you drink wine to quench your thirst?
Hey, are you going to get drunk at your wedding in August?
I think I'm going to try and keep it under control at least until 9.
Until 9? Yeah, and Alex doesn't drink. So Alex went and got us booze and he doesn't drink.
Yeah, he doesn't drink. Superhero.
I'm going to wait until the speech, when I give the speech, and then I'm going to have to get hammered.
Yeah, you might have to wait.
Oh, I have to, or else I'll be like, so no, we're going to wait. I gotta wait.
We should record your best man speech and put it on the MLO Bros.
We could do that. I've already started writing it down. I haven't. I will.
It's all in here.
Oh,
I mean, you got 26 years worth of content.
I
So
do.
I'm not.
I'm gonna need somebody to grab the mic. What my friend's trying to say is love is blind.
Dude, do you still have the recording of me saying your best man speech or the speech at your wedding?
Maggie might somewhere.
We need to find that. We need to do a back-to-back. So when you give yours, mine first and then yours, and then we put it on the MLO Bros. That would be really cool.
It was really good. Larry Mellinger, he had a really good one too. If you remember his speech.
Oh, his was hilarious. His was just like I didn't know what to say, but I just have a list of things that I wrote down a list of people I want to apologize to.
That was it.
And he just said I'm sorry for, and he just went through a list of things.
Anything that happened in the Heron's basement between 1993 and 2006. Yeah, he had it was great. It was fantastic. All right. Your dad said I'm not buying anymore. Your dad said I'm not buying. How about the bathroom escape? I don't know what he's talking about.
I think somebody hooked up in the bathroom at the Butler.
Oh, and they got he kicked out and ejected. Yeah. People
one of Patty's friends was hooking up in the bathroom.
Of course they were. Of course they were. All right. Everybody, interest rates for the 6 people, they're still good. Call us. Rates are good. If anybody with 6 people.
Somebody please buy a children's book from our sponsor. They're awesome. Two books for $17. Support a local children's book author.
Go get homeowners insurance from the mayor of Poland so he doesn't arrest us. That's how we keep him off.
Call Mayor Tim. We need more. We need more get out of jail free cards.
Rates are low, so you can call us on that. Anything else? No, we're good. That was fun. Tuesday, speaking about work, we have Rob Jane coming on our show.
Oh, do we really?
Chief production officer. I don't know. He's 1 or 2 from the top of our Nationwide Mortgage, and it's gonna be a blast because this dude's out. He's a hard-time New Yorker.
He's New York. Yeah, he is Mr. New York.
New York as you get, and he's coming on the show next week. So, yeah, he's fun. He's gonna be a blast, and I'm totally grabbing that thing that he did. Oh,
which one? Oh, and that, and I'm gonna take a picture of Misney, that lawyer Misney, off the internet, and put it up there. Be like, hey, do you feel like you look like this guy?
So the boss comes on next week, and we're just gonna give him a hard time. All right, sir, that was fun. That was a good one. Everybody, Thank you for watching. Share, follow, blah 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 blah.
Hello there.
Yeah, we gotta finish with our.
In chess, the pawns go first.
Hi.
I'm pretty sure they said this when they had the people go out and start the cars first during the car bombings.
In chess, the pawns go first.
I'm not starting my car myself. Are you crazy?
I'm not going out there to start my car.
Do it.
I need you to go plant a car bomb now.
Do it.
Goodbye. Good night, everyone. We're sorry. Can't help it.
Nazis. I hate these guys.
It's just all day. Goodbye.
Generals gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses. Evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerers of death's construction. In the field of body burning, as the war machine keeps turning. Death and hatred to mankind.